Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today to hear all about the Grand Canyon and Glacier National Park with Amtrak Vacations. First of all, I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name's Jackie Malecki. I'm the product manager here at Amtrak Vacations, and really excited to be talking to you all today about these two national parks because they are two of my favorite ones in the US that I've been able to visit. Now, before we get started with everything, just a couple quick things I want to mention. There are a few handouts on the right-hand side of your screen. So in that GoToWebinar box, you can actually click right on those and download them. And that's also where you'll find the questions box. So if you do have any questions throughout this presentation, please feel free to type them in there, and I'll make sure to leave a little bit of time at the end to get to some of those questions. I do want to thank you all for when you registered doing the top 3 things you want to learn. I did go through all those, so I will be addressing a lot of those kind of pre-questions that you had going into this webinar, such as what Amtrak is doing in response to COVID-19, what it's like traveling on the train, different accommodations. We will be covering all of that today. Before I get into all of that and the destinations, what it's like on board Amtrak, for those of you who are not familiar with us, and this is your first webinar you're attending, just want to let you know a little bit about who we are and our background. So Amtrak Vacations is a part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. So we operate 3 different brands. Amtrak Vacations for our US rail vacations. We operate Yankee Holidays, which is land packages. So if you're flying or driving to your destination, we can do your hotel accommodations, your sightseeing tours, and all that for you. And we also operate Rail Bookers, which is our worldwide rail vacations brand. So if you're traveling overseas to Europe, Australia, Asia, anywhere in the world, we can put together a rail vacation for you. But today we're really going to focus on our Amtrak Vacations brand and more specifically Glacier National Park in northern Montana. It's located on the Empire Builder Route, which is kind of that blue turquoise color that you see there. And then we're also going to chat about the Grand Canyon, which is located off the Southwest Chief train. That's one that runs from Chicago through Santa Fe, Albuquerque, through like Flagstaff, Williams, and the Grand Canyon area, and then ultimately ends in Los Angeles. I always love showing this map because a lot of people are always amazed to see the extent that Amtrak travels to and all the options that you have for your next rail vacation. All of the packages that we do, they can start from any of the 500 Amtrak stations. So you'll see a lot of our packages as you look through our website, and even some of the ones I talk about today are from Chicago, and that's because it's the main hub for all of the Amtrak long distance trains, which you can see right on the map here. But keep in mind, we can start any of these packages right from your hometown or your local Amtrak station. So when you call us to book, just let us know where you're traveling from and we can add that on for you. We actually find some people even fly to Chicago or to the starting point of their trip, train city to city, and fly home at the end. So whole combination, lots of different options that you have. So what makes Amtrak Vacations different? It's a bucket list experience to travel by train. You're going to see some beautiful sights in parts of the country you'd never be able to experience by flying or driving. And we go to a lot of these bucket list destinations and national parks. There's a lot of freedom and flexibility when you book with us. We have daily departures in most of our packages, and we can customize any of our trips to make sure we're really putting together the perfect vacation for you. Our rail vacations are hassle-free. We take care of all of the planning, all of the booking. Just give us a call or reach out to your local travel agent and let us know where you want to go, when, and we will put the rest together for you. So we make it really easy. We are the official tour operator for Amtrak and we manage their rail vacations. The train offers city-to-city service. What I mean by this is the train will pick you up in the heart of one city, bring you right to the next, right to the downtown city center locations. So for example, if you're taking the train to Chicago, you'll take it right to Union Station. You get off there, and you're just right across the river, right across the way from the Willis Tower. So you're right in the downtown area. Versus flying in, you're probably going to O'Hare and you're 30, 40 minutes into the suburbs there, especially if there's traffic. It can be a little bit longer to get to downtown and to your hotel. So the train brings you right there. So it makes it really easy. And with Amtrak Vacations, we offer something for everyone. We have so many different vacation packages to choose from because we have the ability to customize everything. We can always make the perfect vacation for you, whether you want to do more hiking, exploring, kind of have more of a nature trip, or if you want to do a little bit more focused on history, visit the museums, we can also do that for you too. So tons of different options. One thing I do want to mention is our maximum flexibility offer. So right now we recognize there is a lot of uncertainty that's going on right now as far as when the country and everything will open up again, when will be the best time to start traveling again. So that's why we've put this policy in place to take that uncertainty and that fear away. So this way you can book with us now, and we're saying you can change your dates up to 5 days before your departure without incurring any change or cancellation fees. So let's say you book with us today for travel in July. If you decide the week before you just don't feel comfortable, you want to wait, you want to put it off till November, no worries at all. Just give us a call, we'll readjust it and take care of that for you. And that's good for any bookings made now through July 31st. And if you already have a reservation with us, this policy does apply to any existing reservation. So no need to make any decisions now for travel later this summer. You can wait till 5 days before to make a final decision as go or no go, or change your destination, anything like that. So we will work with you on those. Now, I mentioned all of our rail vacations are customizable. So just kind of want to explain a little bit about what that means. So I mentioned earlier a lot are from Chicago, but we can customize any of these to make it start right from your hometown or your local Amtrak station. We can also adjust the actual package. So we have our rails to the Grand Canyon. That one, it's round trip from Los Angeles and it goes out to the Grand Canyon, has 2 nights at the South Rim. Well, maybe you want to spend some more time there. You love hiking and exploring. We can extend that and make it 3 nights. We can upgrade your hotel to stay at the iconic Altovar property. So you have lots of different options there. For this one, it's round trip LA, but doesn't include the hotel there. So if you've never been to Los Angeles, maybe you want to do some sightseeing, we can add that on for you. Now, one question a lot of you had was about Amtrak and what they're doing right now in terms of safety for employees, but also for people that are traveling on the train. So just want to address some of that and talk about what Amtrak is doing right now. First of all, they are requiring facial coverings and masks in the train stations, on all of the trains, and the throughway buses, as Amtrak does operate some buses to connect even more destinations. So all employees and travelers on the train will be required to wear those. Of course, if you're eating, you can take it off. If you're in your private sleeper, which I'll talk more about those a little bit later, you can take it off while you're in there. But in any public spaces, you will be required to wear it. They have enhanced their cleaning protocol, so they are cleaning not just the trains, but even the station. So anything someone can possibly touch, it is cleaned throughout the day. All the equipment is cleaned and sanitized. Amtrak is going cashless, so there is a cafe car on board where you can purchase snacks, drinks, anything like that. So temporarily they will not be accepting cash and you'll have to use your credit card there. So just something to keep in mind. They are practicing social distancing, throughout the station. So they do have floor stickers. So if you're waiting in line to check your bags, anything like that, it'll tell you exactly where to stand for it. And they have posters throughout it, just reminding people to stay a safe distance from others in the stations. Amtrak has a team of 18,000 employees that are all working together to make sure that you can get to your destination safely. They're all taking this very seriously to be careful. And the other thing they are doing too is they are also maintaining social distancing on board the train. And how they're able to do that is they're maxing capacity at about 50%. So this way people can stagger while they're on board the train. So if you are in the coach accommodations, you don't have to sit right next to someone else. There most likely won't be anyone in the seat in front of you or behind you. So this way people really can space out on board the train. So those are a few of the things that Amtrak is doing right now to make sure that train travel is safe for anyone that's going on and for all of their employees. Now with that, I want to jump in and talk about some of these great national parks. First up, I'll talk about is Glacier National Park. This is one of my favorite ones. Absolutely beautiful, just spectacular landscapes in northern Montana, nestled in the mountains there. It's over 1 million acres of just incredible landscapes, and the glaciers, the lakes, the rivers, waterfalls are all found throughout it. So just want to share a couple of fun facts about Glacier National Park. So Lewis and Clark actually came within 50 miles of the park in 1805, but it would be another 45 years before a series of expeditions led to what is now known as Glacier National Park. There's evidence of human use in the area that dates back over 12,000 years. The largest glacier in the park is 0.7 square miles. The mountain goats are an important part of Glacier's identity and are Glacier's official symbol. Mountain goats are common to see throughout the park too as you're traveling, and while you're on your tour of Glacier National Park, they actually make a special stop at a place that's called Goat Lick, and it's well known for wildlife viewing, so good chance you may even see some on your journey there. Glacier National Park has the vintage red jammers that transport guests in style. So that's the picture that you see on the bottom on the right-hand side. That's one of the famous red jammer buses. They actually have an open top. So as you're driving through the park, you get that fresh air. You know, when it's stopped, you can stand up, take amazing photos unobstructed by any glass or anything like that. So those are definitely the best way to see the park. And the wooden boat tours, so the picture right on the top, that wooden boat there, these boats have been used for tours for almost 100 years. We do include sightseeing tours on Two Medicine Valley that use these boats here. And between 1910 and 1913, the Great Northern Railway built 9 chalets. So visitors would travel by horseback from one chalet to another in order to see the park. So it took several weeks to accomplish this. So in 1915, the average visitor spent over a month in the park. Of course, the way we do it now, we spend just a few days there, but make sure you still see all the amazing landscapes and parts of Glacier National Park. Our most popular package that we have to Glacier is this one right here. It's our Glacier National Park Express. Now, Glacier is seasonal. It's only open from about mid-June to mid-September. And it's closed during the winter just because of the amount of snow that it gets there. The road that goes all the way through the park is closed. They just can't keep up with plowing it and everything. So this one is seasonal, so our packages are available again. That's from mid-June to about early mid-September. This one here starts out with 2 nights in Chicago. Then it's an overnight on the train. So whenever you see the red arrow with the 1, that means it's an overnight on board Amtrak. So you are sleeping on the train. And again, a little bit later, I'll talk about the different accommodations and options that you have. Then it's 3 nights in Glacier National Park, another overnight on the train as you head to Seattle. So now let's break it down a little bit. First up is Chicago. So again, we can add the train from your hometown or your local Amtrak station, bringing you to Chicago in order to begin this one. You have 2 nights there, so you can check out Navy Pier, Millennium Park, walk along the River Walk here. We do include an architecture cruise that goes down the Chicago River. So you'll learn about Chicago's rise from the Great Fire there, kind of how it became a main hub for architecture, and we'll talk a lot about the history there. After exploring Chicago, you're going to hop on the Empire Builder route, and you're going to travel to Glacier National Park. When you arrive in Glacier, you're going to step right off the train, and this is the view you're going to see here. This is the Glacier Park Lodge. From where you step off the train to the front lobby, it's just 206 steps. So the train literally takes you right to the lodge, into the park. It is by far the easiest way to get to the park because there's no major airports that are servicing Glacier. It's in northern Montana. It's a remote area, so it's a very far drive from any major cities there. So taking the train, you can sit back, relax, and be brought right there. In Glacier, we have you spending 3 nights at the beautiful Glacier Park Lodge, and we do include the boat cruise for you on the wooden boats there, so that'll take you out to Two Medicine Lake in the Two Medicine Valley area. We do include all of your transportation while you're in Glacier, so you don't have to worry about getting around. A car rental will take you right from the lodge to your boat cruise there. So you'll be able to enjoy that. You'll have some free time in that afternoon too. So you can do some hiking, exploring, or you can just sit back at the lodge. Some of the rooms do have balconies. I always recommend doing one of those. This way you can just sit outside, maybe have your afternoon tea or coffee or a glass of wine and just enjoy it. We also include the Big Sky Circle tour. That is the most inclusive tour of Glacier National Park. It's a full day tour. We'll pick you up right from your hotel. We'll bring you into the park. You'll travel along the famous Going to the Sun Road. That's the road that cuts across the entire park there. You'll make several stops along the way. So you'll stop at Goat Lick for wildlife viewing. You'll stop at Logan Pass, which is where the Continental Divide is. You'll go to Lake McDonald, the largest lake in the park, and a handful of other stops along the way too for some great sightseeing and scenic overlooks there. Then after exploring all of Glacier, you're going to hop back on the Empire Builder route and make your way over to Seattle. You'll arrive in Seattle in the morning. You can drop off your bags at your hotel, go out, and immediately start exploring the city. We do include a great guided tour for you. So this will take you all around Seattle and the area. So you'll be able to go to Pioneer Square, which was Seattle's first neighborhood, check out Pike Place Market and the waterfront. You'll also go out to Lake Union, which has the famous houseboats there. And we do include admission to the top of the Space Needle. You can see it pictured here, such an iconic structure of Seattle's landscape and downtown area there. When you go up to the top, it has the most amazing views of not just downtown Seattle, but also of Elliott Bay, some of the surrounding islands. And on a clear day, you can see Mount Rainier off at a distance. It even has a glass floor they recently put in, so you can look down. Then at the base of the Space Needle is the Chihuly Garden and Glass exhibit. We do include admission into that as well. So that is a beautiful garden, beautiful flowers that are all through it, and it has these glass-blown sculptures that have all been incorporated into it. So really unique and really exciting to check out. And that is our Glacier National Park Express trip, starting in Chicago, heading over to Glacier National Park, and then ending in Seattle. And that package there starts from $25.99. So now I'm going to jump over and talk a little bit about the Grand Canyon, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and definitely a must-see in someone's lifetime. So a couple fun things I want to share about the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is actually full of hidden caves. It's bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. We're missing about 950 million years worth of rocks there. The canyon is full of fossils, though none of them are from the dinosaurs, since the canyon layers were formed long before dinosaurs had walked the earth. And the air at the Grand Canyon is actually said to be among the cleanest air in the United States. So now I want to talk about a couple of our packages that incorporate the Grand Canyon. Now, for someone who's looking for a full cross-country rail vacation, you want to see multiple national parks on your trip, this is the perfect one for you. It's our Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon. You can see it's round trip from Chicago. We don't include the overnights in this one in Chicago, so we have a lot of people from the Midwest that will just hop right on board the train from there. But if you're coming from the East Coast or somewhere else and you want to spend a little time there, let us know. We can certainly add that on for you. Then from Chicago, you're going to hop on board the California Zephyr route as you make your way to Salt Lake City. On that train route, you'll start traveling through the Midwest plains, you'll see some farmlands. Then as you enter Colorado, you're going to travel through probably the most scenic portion of it, where you're literally winding through the Rocky Mountains. The train travels to places that no cars can go, so you are going to see some absolutely beautiful sights from the train there. You'll arrive in Salt Lake City in the evening, so you'll spend the night there. Then the next day, we'll take you up to Yellowstone, where you have 2 nights up there. And then we include a full day sightseeing tour of Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone is a geological treasure. It's known for its hot springs, thermal pools, for its geysers there, the most famous of them all being Old Faithful, which you all may have heard of. So in that tour, we'll take you to see all of those great spots in Yellowstone. Then after exploring Yellowstone, you're going to head back down to Salt Lake City, where you'll catch the train, that California Zephyr route, continuing west to San Francisco. We include 2 nights for you in San Francisco. You do have free time to check out the city, so you can explore Fisherman's Wharf, you can go to Union Square, Ghirardelli Square, into their shop there and get the most delicious ice cream sundaes. But there's so much to do and see in San Francisco. And we include from there a full day tour taking you out to Yosemite National Park. So you'll leave San Francisco early in the morning, you'll drive through California's agricultural heartland and be brought to Yosemite. You do have a guided tour that will take you all around the park and all around the Yosemite Valley floor area. So you'll learn about the history of it, some of the famous landmarks there and some of the spots. So you'll have one of the most amazing views, which is called Tunnel View. From there, you can see the valley floor, El Capitan, which is a famous granite monolith. It's a very well known, especially in the rock climber community. It's known around the world because it's one of the most challenging ones. And they actually made a movie called Free Solo, and it was about a guy who actually free climbs it. So if anyone's seen that, you've seen Yosemite National Park, you know how amazing it is. But you'll see all those amazing spots there. You do have free time in Yosemite too, so you can go on a leisurely walk to check out Yosemite Falls and a few other areas there in the park. Then in the evening, you'll be brought back to San Francisco. Then the next day, you're going to hop on the Coast Starlight train, and you're going to take that from San Francisco down to Los Angeles. I love that train route, especially the section around Santa Barbara, where it's literally right along the Pacific Ocean. You can see the surfers in the water, and then on the other side, you have the rocky cliffs. So it's really beautiful to see. You will have a night in Los Angeles, and you'll have free time there too to explore the city. So this way you can check out Hollywood, Rodeo Drive if you want to do some shopping or window shopping. You can see the Hollywood sign, go to Santa Monica, check out the beaches, or walk along the Santa Monica Pier. Lots of stuff to do in Los Angeles. After Los Angeles, you're going to hop on the Southwest Chief train and take that train route over to Williams, Arizona. Williams, it's an old Route 66 town, and it's also known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon. In Williams, that's where you're going to board the Grand Canyon Railway, and you're going to take that train, travel through the Ponderosa Pine Forest up to the south rim of the canyon. Once you get up there, we do include a sightseeing tour to take you to all the scenic overlooks of the Grand Canyon and the South Rim area. And then you'll be able to spend the night right there at the canyon's edge. I always tell people the next morning, wake up early and watch the sunrise. I know it'll make for a very early morning, but trust me, it will totally be worth it because the colors that you see from the sunrise and the sky, just the way it reflects down on the canyon, it is absolutely spectacular. And it's also very quiet and peaceful up there. So it's really nice to do. And if you are tired, you can go back to your hotel, take a nap for a little bit, and then later that afternoon, you'll take Grand Canyon Railway back down to Williams, Arizona. You can check out the old Route 66 town. There's a great diner, there's a brewery that's there. You can just walk along to some of the shops that are there. We do include dinner for you before you hop on board Amtrak and take that train over to Chicago or back to your local Amtrak station. And that is our Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon. 3 amazing national parks. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit shorter, you just want to focus on the Grand Canyon on this vacation, we have another option. We have our rails to the Grand Canyon. This is perfect, especially for those that are in the West Coast, as this leaves right from Los Angeles at night. It's an overnight on the train, so you arrive in Williams in the morning. And then from Williams, you can actually go outside. They do a Wild West shootout show that's put on by the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel and by the train. So you can actually watch that and enjoy it before boarding Grand Canyon Railway and heading up to the South Rim. So when you get up there to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, we do have that sightseeing tour for you that will take you all around. The rest of the afternoon is at your leisure. So if you want to just sit back, relax, soak in the views, you can do that. If you want to do some hiking, you also have the option to do it. You will spend 2 nights right on the canyon's edge there. So the following day, you do have a full day to explore. A popular thing people will do is they'll add on a helicopter tour because you get incredible views, kind of that bird's eye view looking down at the Grand Canyon. And if you're going to do a helicopter tour, you have to do it in an epic location, and the Grand Canyon definitely is one. You can do that. Another option is to go on a light walk or a hike. Definitely pack a picnic lunch and just enjoy the fresh air and enjoy the views of the Grand Canyon. Then the next day in the afternoon, you'll take Grand Canyon Railway back down to Williams. Again, you do have free time to check out the town of Williams. We include dinner at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel for you, so you can fill up there before hopping on the train and continuing back to Los Angeles. And that is our Rails to the Grand Canyon package. So this is round trip from LA with 2 nights staying at the Grand Canyon. Now, if you're thinking that sounds awesome, but I don't live in the West Coast, I live in the Midwest or the East Coast. We can do our packages from anywhere. So we have another variation. This is our Grand Canyon Getaway package. So you can take the train from your hometown local Amtrak station. You'll take the train to Williams. In this package here, we have you spending the first night at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel right in Williams. So you can enjoy that. The next day, wake up, you'll take Grand Canyon Railway to the canyon itself. We have that tour included for you. You can spend the night right there. Next morning, you can relax, do some hiking, do a helicopter tour, explore more of the canyon. Then later that afternoon, take Grand Canyon Railway back to Williams. You'll spend the night there, and the next day we'll take you back home on board Amtrak. And jumping back to Glacier National Park, I mentioned our Glacier National Park Express trip that had Chicago, Glacier, and Seattle, a little bit longer of a trip. If you're interested in just traveling to Glacier National Park, maybe you've already been to Chicago and Seattle, so you just want to focus on Glacier, we can do that for you too. We can do this package here, so we'll take the train from your hometown or your local Amtrak station, bring you out to Glacier National Park, where you can step off the train, walk right to the Glacier Park Lodge, spend 3 nights there, and we do include the Big Sky Circle tour, so that's that full day sightseeing tour for you, and we do include that boat cruise as well. Remember, Glacier is seasonal, so again, that's available from June to September. Grand Canyon is available year-round. We always have people that are traveling there. So if you're wondering in the different destinations that we have and in some of these cities that I talked about, what hotels we use, we do have a variety to choose from. We have 3, 4, 5 stars. We have the chain hotels, boutique hotels. So just let us know where you typically stay, what you prefer, and we will make sure to find the perfect fit for you. One thing I always get asked is, how do you pack for a rail vacation? How much luggage can you bring? So you can bring 2 free carry-on bags. Carry-on size is pretty similar to what you would bring on an airline, but you're not trying to squish it into a bin. So if you did overpack, it's a little stuffed, no worries at all. It'll still fit there on the train. And you can bring 2 checked bags. Those are free of charge too. I always tell people to check their larger bags. That's going to have all their clothes, anything they're going to need while they're at their destination and at their hotel. And just bring a smaller carry-on bag or backpack while you're on board the train. Just makes it easier as you're moving, through the stations, and just gives you more room on board the train too. So this way you don't even have to worry about those larger suitcases. Now, for the different accommodations on board, there's coach accommodations. It's not like coach on the airlines at all. It's 2 and 2, lots of space there. The seats recline back at a 45-degree angle. You can see here there's a leg rest too that comes up, so it is very comfortable for travel. A train car like this you would not see right now because, again, Amtrak is limiting the number of passengers on board, so it would be rare to have someone in front and behind you there as they're trying to space people out on the train. Then you can see right over their heads, that's the luggage rack where the carry-on bags can all go. If you're in coach accommodations, you do have access to the sightseeing lounge car, so another place to sit, to relax and hang out there. You also have access to the dining and the snack car there. Remember, they are temporarily going cashless, so you will need your credit card for it. But you can also bring your own food and snacks right on board the train. Now, coach is comfortable for daytime travel. It is comfortable for overnights too. So if anyone is traveling on a budget, they could certainly do it in coach accommodations. But I always highly recommend upgrading to the sleeping accommodations because that's where you really get the full Amtrak experience. The most popular one is the roomette. So it's 2 seats during the day that face each other, and then at night it's bunk beds. Don't worry, you don't have to figure out how that all goes. There's a train car attendant that takes care of all of that for you. Just let him know what time you would like those beds made up, and he or she will take care of that and do it for you. At the end of the train car, there's a bathroom and shower, and it's exclusively for people with roomette accommodations. So there's only a few people that will be sharing that bathroom and that shower there. All the toiletries, towels, everything like that is provided for you. With the roomette accommodations, the meals are included too. When you're in the roomette, it's great because you do have that privacy door. So it's perfect for social distancing. You can hop on board. When you're in there, you can shut that and just have your own space. If you are traveling with your family or another couple, friends, anything like that, let us know because we can book, if you would like, 2 roomettes that are across the way from each other. And this way you can open up your doors and you can talk to each other there. And again, the great thing about taking the train is you can distance while you're on board. And then once you get to your destination, especially when you're traveling to the national parks, you just step right off the train, right into the open spaces there. So much room for social distancing when you hop off the train. You don't have to go through, any of the major stations, anything like that. A lot of the national parks, again, you hop off the train and it takes you right there. If you are doing the sleeping accommodations, those passengers do board separately and they do get priority boarding. The other sleeping accommodation is the bedroom. You can see in this picture here, it is a bit larger, so there's more space in there. The seat where the lady is, that's almost more like a couch. Probably could lay down there if she wanted to during the day and take a little nap there, but a lot more room. The biggest difference is the bedroom has its own private bathroom and shower right in that room. The seat where she's sitting on, it does fold out, so it does become much wider when it is the lower bunk. And you can kind of just see it above her head is the upper bunk that gets pulled down. And you can see above the gentleman's head is a little storage area too, where you can put some carry-on suitcases and bags up there. There's also room underneath the seats to put bags. But this is why I always recommend trying to limit how much baggage you do bring on board the train and just doing smaller bags. This way you have more room in your private accommodations there. One thing we always get asked is, of course, about food and snacks if you can bring that on the train, but we get asked frequently, can you bring wine or beer on board the train? You're on vacation. I get it. You want to sit back, relax in your room, travel through the Rocky Mountains, and enjoy your glass of wine. You can do that. So you can bring alcohol on board the train and consume it as long as you are in one of the private sleeping accommodations. You can enjoy that in your room. In the snack car, in the dining car, they do serve beer, wine, and alcoholic drinks there. So you can purchase those and drink those in the common areas. As I mentioned earlier with the roomette, with the bedroom accommodations and any of the sleepers there, the meals are included, and those meals are actually being delivered right to your private sleepers. So your train car attendant will come by with the menu, so just let them know what you want, and they will bring that right to your room. A lot of the long distance trains, they do have specific dining cars, but again, to make sure that Amtrak is practicing social distancing, that people are safe, comfortable on the train, that's why right now they've suspended that and they're giving people, once they open it up again, the dining car is open, you will still have the option to have your meals delivered right to your room. So this way you don't have to interact with others on board the train. And remember the train car attendants, they're wearing masks, everything like that. So again, it is safe to travel on board Amtrak. So now I just want to talk about a few of the discounts real quick because everyone loves discounts and to save some money on their vacation. So if you're bringing the kids along, you're trying to do a summer vacation, children ages 2 to 12 get a 50% discount off the rail portion. Seniors, so if you're over the age of 65, you get a 10% discount. Then active military and their families get a 10% discount as well. But I do have an exclusive offer for all of you just for taking the time and joining me today. Really do appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation and learned a lot about Glacier National Park, Grand Canyon, and what we can do for you. But this offers, if you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation on the train, we'll give you $100 off per booking. That promo code is upgrade100. So I'll leave it here for a minute so you can all jot that down real quick. And you just have to book by May 26th. Again, that's for $100 off if you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation. And it doesn't have to be specifically on any of the packages I talked about today. That's good for any of our rail vacations. And I do want to mention just one more time our maximum flexibility offer, and that is for any rail vacation that you have, we're allowing you to change your dates up to 5 days before your departure. So as long as you book by July 31st, this policy does apply. So this means you can take advantage of our exclusive discount. You can book this week for travel in August. And if you decide the week before, you know what, we want to postpone this to next year, or we're doing the Grand Canyon, you want to go in November, December, maybe travel during the holidays instead, no worries, we can do that for you. One question I was asked in the earlier presentation that I did was if people could change the destination that they're going to. That is an option as well. So we'll certainly work with you and make any adjustments, change things around to make sure that when you're traveling, you feel comfortable traveling. It's at a safe time for you. In this way, you can go when all the restaurants, museums, everything is open. But this way, when you're ready to travel, we're ready for you. like so many others, we are now home-based, but we all have our home offices set up. We are up and running. We're here to help you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and to our team here. Now, I do want to mention real quick our upcoming webinars. So we actually have another one next week, and that's going to be on the 26th and 27th. And it's going to be 5 vacations that will make you love overnight train travel. So this is going to talk about even more destinations that we have to offer. Now, don't forget, if you didn't get a chance to download those handouts, you can click on those and do that now. And I see a couple questions that were coming in during this presentation, so I'll get to those in just a second. And if anyone else does have any questions, please type those right into those questions, right into the question box there. But one question I want to ask all of you first is, what real vacations are you interested in and when? I always love hearing this, even if it's not Glacier or Grand Canyon that I talked about today. Just love hearing where people are interested in traveling to. I know we have all been stuck in our houses for so long. We are eager to get out. We've been dreaming of our next real vacation. So I'd love to hear from you all and see where you are looking to travel to. So it looks like we do have a handful of people that are interested in Glacier. We have Caitlin that's looking at Glacier in August. We have Ashley that's looking at Glacier in September. It looks like we have, let's see, Cheryl, who's interested in visiting Alaska. So that's a great one. I didn't talk about Alaska today, but I actually did a presentation on Alaska last week with our Rail Bookers brand, as we do have some great Alaska land packages with Alaska Railroad. So we can certainly help you with that and give you some suggestions and ideas on where to go in different packages. We have a question from Craig. Can you book vacations for 2021 with the same 5-day change option? So yes, it applies to any booking as long as it's made by July 31st, regardless of travel date. That policy will apply for it. We have a question from Bob. Returning home from Seattle would be an additional cost. Is that correct? So Bob, I think this one came in when I was talking about the Glacier Park Express package. So yes, that would be an additional cost. So once you're in Seattle, you can add the train to go back to Chicago, to your hometown, or you could fly back home. But yes, if you're riding the train, that would be an additional cost there. We have a question from Cheryl. These tours are accessible for everyone. Can those with mobility disabilities access the trips? So yes, our vacations, they are wheelchair accessible. Amtrak itself is also wheelchair accessible there. I didn't talk about it today, but there is a specific sleeping car that you can wheel the wheelchair right into it, in which case the meals will all be delivered to the rooms, things like that. So yep, if you or anyone you're traveling with does have any mobility issues, just let us know. In this way, we can go ahead and we can make those arrangements, get handicap accessible rooms in the hotels, let the tours know. We can certainly work with you on that. We have a question from Elizabeth. Had trouble downloading the app, missed the beginning. Is this available to watch? Yes, it is, Elizabeth. Our presentation is being recorded, so we will be able to send that to you. In fact, we will send a recording out to everyone either later today or tomorrow. You should be receiving an email with that. So feel free to rewatch any part that you missed or share it with any friends or family members. We have a question from Susan. 3 most scenic routes were mentioned. What are the other 2 most scenic routes other than Coast Starlight, which was mentioned out of LA? So the 3 routes that I focus on today, were Coast Starlight, Empire Builder, which is the one Glacier is off, and Southwest Chief is the one that the Grand Canyon is off of. There's the California Zephyr, which I talked a little bit about quickly. That's the one from Chicago that runs through Colorado, goes to Salt Lake City, and then ends in San Francisco. There's also the Sunset Limited train, which runs from New Orleans, kind of does the southern US through like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and ends in the Los Angeles area. And California, if you're wondering the other routes in California, there's also they call it the Pacific Surfliner, runs from San Diego through like Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, up to like San Luis Obispo area, and kind of runs that route. So there's a few different ones in California. Question from Robert: can I use my guest rewards points on these vacations? So we can apply your Amtrak guest rewards to your vacation so you can earn points for it. However, at this time, you can't redeem your points for an Amtrak Vacations trip. But again, on the rail portion, we can add that guest rewards number. So this way you can earn even more points for future travel. So looks like that's all we have time for questions today. So I do want to say thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time joining me. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation. And if you have any additional questions or you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out to us as our team is here to help you. So thanks, take care, and hope you all have a wonderful day.